meanwhile, we stick with the French, Shay, and I suppose they flattered to deceive a little bit early on because they created 2 quick chances early on in the game.
Yeah, I mean, he started very well. We talk about the front three again, and Mbappe, of course, with his pace and power, and you know, we need to play in behind them, and I think this is playing to their strength. Mbappe is as Keith mentioned, only 19. He's so quick and playing on the shoulder of the back four of Australia. You know, he's very quick player. I mean, there's not very many chances. There was the Mbappe, and then this one's from Griezmann, a shot from the edge of the box that Matt Ryan, 2 saves you'd expect him to make. Comfortable, gives him a bit of a confidence before, you know, leading into World Cup finals as well. But I would expect Matt Ryan to make them saves. But this is early part of the game, Peter, as we mentioned. They started decent, I thought. You know, Pogba steps over there to Dembele, gives it wide to Hernandez, and probably should have got his shot off a bit quicker. That's the first time that the whole Australian defence got dragged over to one side, and the opening for Hernandez there, but he just didn't get his shot off quick enough. But that was the early part of the game, and as I say, Australia grew into the game more, and I felt we're comfortable going into half-time.
Yeah, and as they grew into the game, Didi, they created, I suppose you'd call them half chances, but it still called Lloris into action, the first one in particular.
Yeah, and Ray said it, this is probably the best chance of a set piece. It's a decent ball played in, it's flicked on, and then Tolisso gets a touch, and Lloris does well to go down to his left. It's a save you expect him to make, but nevertheless, there was the best chance they had in the first half. And that's what they have to make use of in the second half. Set pieces will be the best chance to score a goal. And another a ball coming in, and as Shay alluded to, it's the longer the game went on, the more comfortable they were. And I think the confidence grew, and you could almost feel the Australians saying to themselves, you know, let's try to be a bit more adventurous going forward. And they created 1 or 2 half chances. And if they keep it at 0-0, maybe we may see even more in the second half, because in the first half, apart from the first 5 or 10 minutes, as Shay said, I don't think there was anything between the teams.
We're very used to seeing Aaron Moy. He's a composed midfielder in the Premier League with Huddersfield Town, but he looks right at home on this stage. He's had a good first half, Keith, hasn't he? Very
much so. We'd mentioned that he had to do the defensive side of the games, and it's a very similar position that he plays in for Huddersfield, alongside Jonathan Hogg in the main for him. Defensively superb, dropping into areas. In possession, he's very competent, very comfortable. This is something that I think he's improved over the last year or so. That's Mbappe. You expect him to get away from there. Crucial tackle before Mbappe gets away. And he's played very well in the opening 45 minutes.
What I've been impressed with, Peter, is the way that Australia have Matt Ryan at the back. We thought maybe just kick it long and try and get knocked down, but he's actually played out from the back, and Moy's been sort of sent to that, getting on the ball, turning, and even Matt Ryan's been picking out the fullback, who's quite advanced at times, and it's not a long pass, he's actually putting into the centre forward's chest, and you can see they've definitely worked on it, and you got to give the goalkeeper credit as well. Looks very comfortable with the ball at his feet. Yeah,
Didi, maybe we shouldn't be too surprised that Australia are looking very much a team, because I mean they play possibly more competitive fixtures than anybody else to get to the World Cup. They played 22 matches, including a playoff, followed by an intercontinental playoff. Very tough competitive matches. So in many ways, these are battle-hardened players, aren't they?
No, they are. They are. They've been through the mill to qualify, and you know, they should go there with the confidence to, you know, if one team really deserved their place at the World Cup, it's them, as you said. They play more games than anybody else. But then again, it's all right having a team or having the spirit, which is obviously their biggest strength. But when you're up against a team like France, you still don't know where you stand, because the teams they played in the Asian qualifying are not the quality that we've got in Europe. And to go there and to show themselves the way they did in the first 5 minutes, I've got to say I'm mightily impressed, because if you look at the team, if you look at where the players play, I'm not sure whether too many people expected a game like we saw in the first half, because France seemed to have run out of ideas after about 15-20 minutes, and I think we see more of the same, and I think they've got a real chance to really take something out of the game, because in a tough group, I rate Denmark, I rate Peru, so I think it's really tough, a tough group for them. But if they get something today, maybe even qualification will be in the back of their minds.
Yeah, well, apparently there's a cautious optimism in Australia that they can finish in the top 2. Well,